Dear friends, welcome. I was asked to share my top 10 favorite Sega Genesis games, so here it is. However, I'd like to clarify something. I didn't have a Genesis during my childhood. I first had a Sega Master System, then a Super Nintendo, a Game Boy, and finally my uncle's old Amiga. But I used to play the Genesis at my neighbor's house and later, of course, on an emulator. There are many games like Earthworm Jim 2, Spider-Man and Venom, Maximum Carnage, or Batman Returns that I love, but I didn't include them in the list because I prefer the Super Nintendo versions. So I mostly picked games that are exclusive to the Genesis. So let's start with number 10. Haunting starring Polterguy. This game is super funny and quite addictive. The player takes on the role of a poltergeist, in fact, the ghost of a young punk who died under mysterious circumstances. The goal of the game is to scare families out of 4 different houses.
Der Angriffssteigerfahrt Befehl!
To do that, you have to interact with objects in the house, possess them, and use them to frighten the residents. To make objects move, you need ectoplasm. And when you run out of ecto, you're sent to a dungeon where you have to collect more ectoplasm and try to survive the dangers there. The ending is hilarious. If you manage to defeat the final boss and his minions, Poltergeist comes back to life and is given a second chance, only to immediately die again, crushed by an anvil. Alien Storm. This game isn't amazing, but I personally love it. First of all, I'm pretty sure the character's image is meant to represent Elvis Presley. At least to me, it definitely looks like the king. Aside from that, I absolutely love the graphics, especially the backgrounds and environments in this game. It's made up of 3 different types of gameplay. Standard side-scrolling where you move through the level, side-scrolling at high speed where you're running flat out, and third-person segments that usually take place in a store or a warehouse. I also really enjoy how fast-paced the combat feels, and I have to say, for a Genesis game, it's actually pretty easy to finish. Ghouls and Ghosts. This was the very first game I ever played on the Genesis, at my neighbor's house. And it's also the first game I remember playing on an arcade machine during my vacation in Greece when I was 5 years old. The game is super well known. I think everyone knows it. It's also really hard, and if you want to make it to the end, don't forget AVGN's advice.
Number 1, get the knife. Number 2, get the knife. Number 3, get the knife.
Golden Axe 3. Even though I prefer the atmosphere and graphics of the first Golden Axe, the third one is still my favorite. The player can choose between 4 characters, including the humanoid Black Panther, which I absolutely love. At several points in the game, the player has to choose which path to take, meaning you have to play it at least twice to see everything. But I really don't like the cheesy rideable creatures in this version. Streets of Rage 2. Here too, everyone obviously knows Streets of Rage, and for me the second one is my favorite. To sum it up, it's basically an improved version of the first game. I don't think there's any need to go into more detail. In short, you just have to beat the shit out of every human in sight. Sonic 2. Sonic 2 is my favorite Sonic on the Genesis, but my all-time favorite Sonic is the first one on the Master System. But that'll be for another video. I really love the arrival of Tails. I think it greatly improved the second Sonic compared to the first. And there's the ability to transform into Super Saiyan Sonic, something I've never managed to do. The levels are cool, but overall I find them a bit less beautiful than the ones in Sonic 1 on the Master System, which focused more on natural environments like forests and mountains. In Sonic 2, Sonic mostly moves through urban-style settings. Ecco the Dolphin. Obviously, I never managed to finish this game because its difficulty will rape your butt without mercy. But aside from that, the game is simply beautiful, whether it's the scenery or the music. You really feel that underwater atmosphere. And for me, as someone who loves nature and animals, playing an adventure in the ocean with a dolphin is something wonderful. But still, this game is just way too hard to finish. Especially the last part of the game, where the screen scrolls automatically and you have to follow along without making a single mistake. It's impossible the first few times. You really have to know the game by heart to get through that part. Altered Beast. I know it's not an amazing game, but it holds a special place in my heart. When I was a kid, my parents bought me a Sega Master System, but what I really wanted was a Genesis. In the end, I was very happy with my Master System, but I still remember the first time I ever saw a Genesis. It was in Belgium, at the Cora in Messensee, near the Luxembourg border. There was a huge section dedicated to game consoles, and right there was a big Altered Beast poster surrounded by Genesis consoles. That poster made me dream. I eventually got the chance to play the game, I don't remember where, but I still recall how blown away I was. For the time, the game looked incredible, and the ability to transform into a monster was revolutionary for me, especially since I was used to playing on the Master System. Back then, the transformations felt incredibly realistic, even though today many people would probably find them outdated. No, everyone would find them outdated. So in the end, Altered Beast may not be a great game, but for me it's the absolute best the Genesis had to offer. Dear friends, I hope you enjoyed this little video and that you won't think my list is too terrible. Don't forget to like the video and leave a comment to help with visibility. With that, thanks for watching all the way through, and see you again very soon.